What is CK?
Okay, CICAP stands for the Social Inclusion Community Activation Programme. It's been in existence since 2015, and Westmeath Community Development are the group that run the CICAP programme, implement the CICAP programme in County Westmeath. It does that by engaging locally and in partnership between disadvantaged individuals, groups, community groups, public sector agencies and other stakeholders.
And how did Westmeath Community Development become involved in the area?
Because when we were awarded the contract, the LCDC decided which areas under the emerging needs category we had to work with, and Rahani was one of those areas picked. In January 2019, myself and my two colleagues drove out here, and I drove up the village, and I parked up the top of the village, and there was a pub, and the door was open, and see if there's anybody here. So walked in, knocked on the door, the front door was open, knocked on the second bit of door. The gentleman was behind the bar. I explained who we were, why I was there, what we wanted to do, and that we needed a room for, if we got a group together, they needed a room to meet. Anne and Sharon, they went and did a door knock around the two estates. The first meeting, that was very successful. And it took off from there, basically. They got their committee together, they elected their chairperson, their secretary, their treasurer. So at that stage, things were starting to grow. But when we come out here first, you would have been classed as in pre-development stage. So once we got the committee formed, that you would have been deemed then as becoming a group. So then what we did was we provided training on committee skills, on funding, and whatever other training you required. So at that point, you became known as capacity building. And now you're able to work collectively together. So you've actually moved into stage 3 because you're now in collective action. But I mean, we're very, very proud of the work that we've done with you, and also the work that you've done yourselves, because you're all volunteers. We totally understand the commitment of volunteers. I mean, it's just fantastic to look round the wall here and just see all your achievements. And I do really wish you the best of luck at the Pride of Place Awards in November.
How are you all doing?
We're good.
Good to see you again.
Yeah.
I think how things been since the Pride of Place. What you've been up to?
Quiet. Yeah.
Quiet, but I
Very
think
busy coming up to it, but
yeah, it was a tough time now. So Anne, can you talk a bit about how you become involved and come to that public meeting?
Well, again, it was like talk in the village about a playground, and having two small kids thought was absolutely a brilliant idea. Now back then I wouldn't have had the confidence in myself of walking down even to collect my son from the school. I would send my sisters or nieces or something like that of it. So that was a huge thing for me. Will I go, won't I go? But I'd like to go to see if there is something going on in the village. I want to get involved, but I didn't have the courage really or the confidence to get involved. So I remember going down with my sister and my mum at the time, down into the Granite. And it was a nervous wreck kind of walking in, overthinking everyone was going to be there, oh God, why is she doing here? You know, that kind of thing. Right? So then again, as my sister was like, well, you know what, I'd like to be a secretary. And I think she was like, this is all fun and games, you know, that kind of way. And I remember sitting there and I was there thinking, oh Jesus, don't say you do it. You know, I was kind of looking for her. And then that's when I was like to you, well, can you give, you know, what's our roles for a committee, the start of it? And that's when you and Annie were just standing in front of me and like, oh, well, there's an example of a chair. We've got a chair. I didn't know anything else about it. I was even going to Ashley and texting her and going, what does a chair do? What did I actually get myself into? You know, and I was there at that confidence scene of going, well, I'm not going to say no, I don't want it, because I didn't have the confidence saying no, thank you. I was just looking out for my sister there, you know, that kind of thing of it. But looking back at it now, I don't think I'd change it.
So when you say that you just stayed on the estate, do you think you stayed on the estate, all of you? Did you think you kept your head under the radar because your local authority housing in a...
Thought we were like a bit of an underdog, really.
Yeah, we would have been very much under the radar as well. Well, that's what we would have thought, because even like a few people have said since the day here,
The private place, yeah.
Pride Place, that like all the work you did, and I said, well, we were kind of under the radar. We didn't think we were doing all this work.
Why did you choose to be a joint group?
The fact that we've all been living in Raharney, from Raharney, and just, to me, it was just two estates. It was just, you know, I thought it was the best thing to do, because we were working for the good of each estate and the good of Raharney.
One of the challenges that you might talk about is actually doing work on your own estate, how people perceive that. Did you have any difficulties?
As Susan said, 28 houses in Ashcroft alone. There's an awful lot of different ideas thrown out there and that of it. Not everybody sees the better idea, you know, that kind of thing of it. As I said before, there was not all rainbow kind of thing of it. We just kind of work with a plan, get over it and move on kind of thing of it. It was.
And how did you work with the residents then that were against you or maybe felt who do they think they are? How did you must have come up across
Well,
that.
first of all, meetings. Meetings are important. Public meetings. Any decision in the two estates or anywhere, it's important to have a meeting, a public meeting, and invite everybody to that meeting. You go through the plan. Everyone had their opinion of it. It went to the public meeting, and this is what it is.
The grants we got were for a specific purpose. So if somebody thought that it should be for something else, they said, well, no, this is what we got this grant. It's for the pavilion, it's for the stones, it's for whatever. So that kind of helped as well, that, you know, that's the reason we got the grant. So that's the project that's on hand at the minute.
I know you had training in committee skills
Yeah.
and a funding workshop. Was that beneficial, or was the one-to-one work with the development worker more beneficial to setting up the group and doing it the right way? What do you feel?
I felt the one-to-one worked with me now on it. Don't get me wrong, the workshops were great. There was people that needed to refresh their skills, and it was great to get them in as a workshop. I personally think the one-to-one was a great benefit.
How do you think you would have done without the psychic program? Would you achieve this? Would you have done it?
No,
No.
I don't think we'd
No.
even be here.
Yeah, no.
As a committee yourself, there must have been internal struggles as well. Did you agree on everything?
I wouldn't say it was bad, you know,
Yeah.
or anything like that. If there was a disagreement, we all get together, stop the texting, get together, sit and we talk.
The very fact that you chose the pavilion as a project in the heart of the village,
Yes.
really, how did that come about? And
We met with Hubert, Westmeath Community Development Worker, and Joe Mullen of Raharney Tiny Towns. And we were down at the, because I think the restrictions were kind of coming in at that time with COVID, because we were down at the park. And Joe said, well, can the girls get a grant there to put something into the pavilion? Now we thought, oh God, no, we're stepping out of our, you know, comfort zone there. That's none of our business, you know. That's what we thought. Again, underdogs. That's how we seen ourselves. And he was like, oh yeah, we can get onto that. What is it you need or whatever? But we all suggested the windows and doors. And then the next thing was like, yeah, he's got that grant.
And do you see that's the way forward for your group, is these activities and keeping that heart going in the community?
I think so. Yeah.
Rather than the residents group and just keeping to that.
Yeah.
Because you
But
did a
not
lot of
forget
work these
where we
days.
came from either.
So overall, a good experience with SciCap?
Oh, definitely.
Very good, very good.
Yeah. And I just want to touch a bit on COVID times. You were, I think, one of the successes. 2019,
Yeah.
you come, the next year we were into COVID. But you continue to do all these projects.
Yeah. It was like having worked frontline in the pandemic.
Yeah.
You know, as a worker in healthcare, coming back to the girls and meeting out, you know, like we were told, oh, we can't, but we've done our social distancing, we wore our masks, you know, it was a bit normal.
Thank you very much, Moses.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you, Sharon.
Shame I didn't get a coffee. But definitely my time is gone. I used to get coffee.